What's up, Know Your Books family? Today, I want to do a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram if you would DM me questions, email me questions, and I've gone through all of them, and I just chose some of them that I thought maybe were interesting to dissect. Also, some of them are from a while back. Some people asked me questions, but I didn't get the opportunity to answer them in detail. So I want to take this opportunity to do that. And I just want to just jump right in. All right. So the first question is, some people didn't want to really get mentioned. It was like anonymous, but other people really wanted to get mentioned, like the majority of people. So I'm going to say their name. But the first one that I thought would be pretty appropriate for the first question was, why did you start Know Your Books? I really just want to actually talk about like the message and how it evolved from the beginning when we started Know Your Books till now. And I actually have to say that, in the beginning when we started, it was like we were interested in the topic. We just started the page to recommend books to people, give some cool quotes, and basically engage with people and interact with people. And then we realized, you know what, we're actually having an impact on people. People start DMing us with questions, with all those type of things. And then we were like, you know what? We should actually create a message behind it so we can have more of an impact, like positive impact to on people. So it transformed from, oh, we're having fun and we're just doing what we love, to, oh, we're having an impact. Let's make sure that impact is positive. So we started shaping that message into the power of knowledge and implementation and positivity, gratitude, discipline. That is the main core message of Know Your Books. And I truly believe that the people, the real supporters of Know Your Books, which I call the Know Your Books family, um, I think truly that they are positive people, and they're committed to implementing knowledge, gaining knowledge. So I think there are different set of people, and I feel like I belong to that group as well, because basically we're trying to fight negativity, and some people I see them actually the majority of people that I see on social media, they are just pushing negativity towards people and in their lives. So, and if you put negativity towards someone, they'll put negativity towards someone else, and it's a snowball effect of negativity till it comes back to you again. All right, and that's some of and that's and that can really have a major effect on a lot of people's lives. So I believe that the Know Your Books family, the real supporters, are there to fight against negativity and to push knowledge, share knowledge, um, and make sure that people implement them in a positive way. All right. So basically, that's a little bit about how Know Your Book started and how its message evolved. All right. Next question. So Tom and Sasha, thank you so much for this question. What's your favorite book and how often have you read it? All right. So my favorite book, it's kind of hard because I read a lot of books from many different topics, many different authors. So philosophy, history, everything, psychology. So it's very difficult to actually choose one book. But if I had to choose one book, probably it would be either Seduction by Robert Greene, which I really enjoyed reading because of all the stories in there and the historical figures. The stories are just so vivid. The storytelling is so vivid. Like it seems like you are in the story. So that's a really nice book. I would recommend that one. Or yeah, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Probably those three. Seduction I read twice, but Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Devil probably in total together I read about like 10 times. So probably something like that. Like I don't really know for sure. I always skim through the books. Like I skim through it, I read it, I skim through it just to get the lessons that I need for the moment. All right. So basically that's it. I Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, and probably Seduction. Next question. Next question is, what are your top 10 business books? Thank you so much, Aniket and Tushar, I believe. Sorry if I said your name wrong. That wasn't my intention. So I'm not gonna give a top 10, but I can definitely give you a top 5. And also, when it comes to that question, it is a very difficult question because business has so many facets. You know, there's so many departments. So, what is your question really? Like, what type of business books are you talking about? Are you talking about, do you already have a business, or do you want to start up, or do you just want to start a business right now? Um, are you thinking about the social media aspect of the business in a already established business, or in a starting business, medium-sized business, small business? So, like, there are so many different angles to take it from that if you just want general business books, I don't know how it would apply to you. But if you just want general business books, I believe that Tools of Titans right here, and I just want to give you recent ones. I don't want to give you older or classics, although those are enough. You know, you have Think and Grow Rich, all these books. So, but Tools of Titans probably crushing it right now. Um, Influence, that's one here too as well. Influence. What else? I'm looking at my bookshelf because there are so many books that you could probably read. The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. You know, it's another Tim Ferriss book. And probably The Power of Broke by Damon John. Probably those five. With those five, probably you'll have a good. I'm pushing you in a good direction with that one. All right, with those. All right, so focus on those and it will be fine. So let's go to the next question. Thank you so much, Aniket and Tushar. All right, love you guys. Next question. What is the best book written by Tony Robbins? Probably Unshakable. I feel like. I mean, there are other books as well. Money Master the Game, but he has so many books actually. But like for, I would say that his recent one, Unshakable, is a really good one. Money Master the Game is an amazing book, but I probably would go with the recent one. Thank you so much, Alistair, for that question. Um, I mean, that's all I have to say about that one. Next question. How many books do you read per month? Thank you so much for that question, Paul. I actually had that question a lot of times. So I'm going to be very honest with you. Like, it differs between each month because some months I just have so much to read that I have to push myself to read a lot of these books because we always get sent books by authors as well. And I have to make sure I read those. And now that I'm actually, and now that I'm doing reviews, I feel like I should read even more of these to be read books, especially the ones that get sent in, so I can review them and give them my honest opinion about the book. I don't want to, keep them waiting for too long because they'll probably think that I'm not really passionate about what I do because I am. But basically, if I really have to give you an answer, average is probably 3 to 4 a month. All right. Thank you so much, Paul. Another question is by Coach Sadiq. Thank you so much, Coach Sadiq. I want to give you a huge shout out. If you haven't followed him on Instagram, his Instagram is at Coach Sadiq. Make sure you follow him. He has a positive message, and that's what I'm talking about. You know that these type of people are people that have the same mindset as the Know Your Books family. The positivity, the message, the sharing of knowledge, the sharing of experiences. So that's very, very important. But how do you prioritize reading by Coach Sadiq? Thank you so much for that question, Coach. Very difficult to say because, I would have to say that I always tell myself reading is, first of all, it's part of what I do. So I actually have no choice but to prioritize it for me. But if you're just a normal person who is not doing what I do, then probably I would give the tip of start small, and don't feel forced to read a lot in one day, but just take it step by step because if you read 10 pages a day, you read one book a month. All right? And that's really profound. Like if you make it a habit, it will be so easier for you to keep up with so many books because at the end of the day, you don't have to read 6 books per month or 4 to 6 books per month to be a CEO. That's nonsense. You don't have to do that. But most of the CEOs or leaders, they do read a lot, but they started from a young age or they made it a habit. And I think that if you're gonna make a habit, start small, make it easy for yourself, reward yourself, and I think that's how you're able to prioritize reading in your life. But it's also your choice because it's your life. Like at the end of the day, books are only a means to an end, right? books help you do something, teach you something to do something, or teach to do something better. Okay, so to prioritize reading is to prioritize your life. So, do you prioritize your life? Then I should say prioritize reading and, of course, implementation. I hope that helps anyone out there that is struggling with prioritizing reading. It's your choice, it's your life. But I do think that reading has extremely positive effects on your life. Okay, next question. What's the best hint you have ever gotten out of a book you have read? Thank you so much, Jurgen, for that question. Best hint is probably that I got is that my thoughts can be a habit. You know, like if I think it was in Outwitting the Devil that negative thoughts can be a habit. That was probably one of the best hints that I ever got because I felt like if you are a negative person, you'll have negative thoughts every single day, right? And those negative thoughts, though that pattern is a habit, right? You need to cut down that habit because you're gonna limit yourself. You're gonna limit yourself from opportunities because people don't want to work with you. Look, if you're negative, people don't want to work with you. All right, like if you're there and you're pessimistic, who wants to work with a person who is negative, pessimistic, and doesn't have vision? No one. So that's why I think that if that's the best hint I got was that I need to control my thoughts as much as possible. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, Jurgen. What is your most cherished memory by Prakash? Thank you so much, Prakash. My most cherished memory is probably, very difficult to give you my most cherished memory because I have so many. But if I just have to give you one, it's probably the last moments that I had with my dad before he passed away. That's probably my most cherished memory. Okay, next question. I consider speed reading to read more books. I can't remember who asked this question, but it was a while back. You know, other people, I don't believe other people asked this question, but I wanted to add this question because I promised this person that I would address speed reading, and I'm going to address it right now. I use speed reading, but only in certain cases. I don't make it a habit because I believe that speed reading actually, with speed reading, there are pros and cons. Yes, you read a lot faster, but you also lose a lot of the information in between, I feel like, at least for me. So, and I like reading, I like taking my time with books. All right, so should you consider speed reading? Yes, if you want to read more books, but if you want to retain more information from those books, then I wouldn't consider speed reading. But if you want to learn more about speed reading, I think Tools of Titans has a nice chapter about it. The 4-Hour Workweek has a nice chapter about it. Harris has a blog, and on that blog he has a whole article about speed reading. So if you really want to know more about it, I probably would just go on Google, type in Tim Ferriss speed reading, and probably you can get the article, and it can teach you everything you need to know about speed reading and how to use it. All right. I hope that helped you. And if you have, of course, if any of you guys have any other questions, please let me know. There was one particular question that I want to address right now. The last question, I got it today. It was outside of the time frame of the people that could send in the questions, but I really wanted to. I'm gonna let this person stay anonymous because it's a pretty sensitive issue. He asked me. It's actually on my phone, but he asked me. He said, I'm 26 years old, and I haven't figured out my goals yet. You recommend me any books that can make me find my career goals? At the end of the day, I can recommend so many books to you that might help you, but what all these books can't offer you, and I can already tell you, is that it doesn't give you a goal. You know, it doesn't give you a career that you can follow. You know, you have to really look deeply within yourself. You have to ask yourself, and I always love this exercise. You have to ask yourself, if I would pay for everything, your overhead, right? If I would pay for your house, if I pay for your food, pay everything for you for the rest of your life, what would you do with the rest of your time? All right? And you really need to sit down with a notebook, with a piece of paper, and write down several things which you want to do and try them and just single them out. And whatever lights you up, whatever makes you happy, do that. Because at the end of the day, life is short. What? Most people have about 80 to 90 years on this planet. You know, some are lucky enough to go 100 plus, but most of us don't. So life is short. So the best thing what you can do is make your time here as enjoyable as possible, as positive as possible, as impactful as possible, and that the only way you can do that is doing something that you truly love to do. You just have to try things. I mean, and it takes time, and maybe it will take another year or two or three, but you will probably thank yourself for taking that time. I hope that answers your question, and of course, I hope so much success to you. I hope so much positivity comes your way. I hope you find your goal, your career that you love and enjoy. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching Know Your Books family. If you have any other questions, I would love to answer them in another Q&A, and maybe I'll do that in 3 weeks or so. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon. And if you're here, then you should probably know your books.